are fixing to can up our potatoes. They have to be pressure canned because they are not acidic. So I have my pressure canner here, and there's little lines here in your pressure canner. And so on this bottom line here, I have to have my water up to that line. Okay, so that's the first thing that I do. Now, it holds a hair over 3 quarts. Always put your rack in the bottom of your canner. This keeps your jars away from the direct heat. So I put that in there. Next, we have our lid. I'm very careful with this because I don't want to knock anything. The pressure gauge, I don't want it to get knocked or anything. This is your little release valve. It has a gasket on it. I take this off every time and make sure I clean it. Make sure it's not dry rotted or anything like that. Okay, and let's see, we have our weight. So before I use it though, your weight is going to go on this little stem right here. So I will take it and I will turn it like this, and I'm going to look through that hole up toward the light. Y'all can't see me doing it. Anyway, but I put it up toward the light and I look through it to make sure that I can see through that before I use my canner. All right. That's very important. Now, there's water in here and I'm getting it hot. I put hot water in my clean jars. You check your jars before using them. I'm going to try to see if I can find the one over here. This is it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. There is a stress crack. There, you can see it. So there's a little stress crack right there in the jar. So we're not going to use this jar. But I checked my jars. And when I put my jars in, I will start one straight across from the other. I always make sure there's some space between my jar and the side of the canner. Don't know if that matters or not, but I try to do that. So I put in the canner to begin with the correct amount of water that's supposed to be in there. So I've got water in my jars. That's just going to make sure they're hot all the way up. When I take one out, I'm going to dump the water out into the sink, put my potatoes in there. So let's turn this on. Let's see. And I'm doing a step-by-step on this right now. So we have our gold potatoes, and I will have a few red potatoes because I canned some red potatoes the other day, and I've had these soaking in water to get the starch out of them. But we're going to blanch them, and that will get the rest of the starch hopefully out of them. So, but I had 2 pressure canners going, and they were both full with 7 jars in each canner. So let's get this party started. Ooh. Let it splash on me. Okay. Okay, we have our potatoes in there. Let me turn our little eye on in the back and get our lids getting warm. Our lids getting warm. So I had soaked these I don't know, maybe probably 5 hours or so. I soaked them in water, drained them, and put fresh water in there just to get the starch out. Okay, that's on high. This is getting hot. I've got my water that's going to go in my potatoes. That's getting hot. I've got my lids getting warm. So we're fixing to get this party started. And pressure canning has come a long way over the years. I think the canners has gotten a lot safer. So don't be scared to use your pressure canner. If you always check everything, make sure your little valve, the little stem is clear, and you do all the proper steps. Make sure your gaskets are good. Fill the water up to the amount that is for canning. It is very safe. Now, if we were going to can something that takes a lot longer, see, we're only going to be canning for 40 minutes. I have to look again. It's over an hour. I think it's over 90 minutes. If you're going to can longer than 90 minutes, you would have to put more water in it. Okay? So, I'll be back. Okay, we're gonna take our water right here. That may fog up. And I'll put it over here next to me. It's back here in the corner. You can see the edge of it. But that's where I'll be getting my hot water from. Okay, let's get started here. So, we're not cooking these potatoes, we're blanching them. So, we're only blanching them for like 3-4 minutes. I gotta find me a towel, y'all. Basically just to get some starch, the rest of the starch out of them. All right, because I've already got all my water in my canner that I need, I'm gonna take this out and pour it. So, one thing that is very important is if your product is hot, then your jars need to be hot and your canner needs to be hot. And I need to turn off that back there. So, just remember that. If your product was cold, your jar would need to be cold and your canner would need to be cold. So, cold product means cold jar, cold canner. Hot product is hot jar and hot canner. You want it consistent. to give me. I just put that under there just for a little pad because I'm gonna bump it. See how far down they went? We're packing them in there. We're going to do a 1-inch headspace. This is 1 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. You can use canning salt or any salt that is non-caking. Okay, so now we're going to get our hot water because our product is hot, our jars are hot. Our canner is going to be hot, so we need hot water going into there. Going to use this. It's a debubbler, so we're going to move this stuff around and get all those air bubbles out. If you have a lot of siphoning, it can be from air being in your jars. It could be from a big temperature change too quick. This jar's hot, so that's why I have a towel. Hopefully y'all can still see what I'm doing. Sometimes if I'm canning something, it's just nothing but liquid, you know. If I forget to debubble, then okay, but something like this, you really don't want to skip on that step. And we got to get up to the 1-inch mark. There we go. Ooh, sorry about that, it's loud. All right, I'm gonna wipe this wet rag. Now we're gonna get our lid. And I had these in hot water. Yeah, sure as I think something was gonna come off. I did not touch the rim part. Okay. Now import it. We're putting the lid on, the ring on. And I'm just using these 3 fingers, so it's finger tight. You don't want to crank down on it because you want air to release. And that's what it's going to keep your product safe, is and for botulism not to get in there. No air can get in there. So air is going to escape and make it all good, y'all. All good. Ain't that pretty, y'all? You go in there and get in your pantry. Wouldn't you rather have a pantry full of jars instead of a pantry full of cans? Right. If everything is sanitized and everything is done right, then it'll last for years and years. Okay, I'm gonna get these all packed up and we'll be back. Y'all not gonna believe this. I thought I was gonna have maybe 5.5 quarts and I was gonna use the rest of my red potatoes and mix them in here. Guess what? I could not have planned it any more perfect, which I could. There's no way I could have figured that to come out to be exact. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I was like, okay, any second I'm gonna have to get out my red potatoes over there. They've been soaking. But guess what? I have exactly 7 perfect jars of gold potatoes. So now I'm gonna have to can the rest of those few little red ones. Okay. So we're putting the last one in our canner. Right over there. Trying to make sure that they're not touching the walls. I try to space them where they're not touching the walls and they're not touching each other. Okay. It's loaded. It's full. So, and I can't do this hands-free. So let me just show y'all this. Get that out of the way and maybe you can see better. I'll move it right back over there. There is an arrow right here. And it's got to match up on this arrow. Put it down right there. It's all snug. Now we're gonna twist it. And it's backwards. So I'm gonna turn it around and I'm gonna go gently right back over here. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat up. To high. And when there's a steady stream of steam coming out of this back valve, this little stem, I'll bring y'all back and show y'all, but I'm gonna let steam, once it starts coming through there real heavy at a steady pace, we're gonna let it vent. That's what they call venting. We're gonna let it vent for 10 minutes. This is up. And our steam has been venting. So now we're going to there we go. Had the wrong one. So now the pressure is going to build. And for my elevation, it's got to be at 10 pounds. And once it gets to 10 pounds, I will start my timer for 40 minutes. And we'll be back. We we're a little above 10 pounds. We're going to start our timer. Now, if that at any time drops below 10 pounds, you would have to start your time all over again. So it's very important not to let it drop below. For me, it's 10 pounds. If you're at a different elevation, you'll need to check and see how many pounds of pressure you would need to can at. So now we're going to turn this down. And we'll turn it down to 5 right now and kind of watch it. If it continues to go up, I'll lower it some more. Alright, we will wait for our time. Now I'm going to gently put this right over here. And we're going to wait until the pressure comes all the way down. And then I will take the little jiggler off. And then I'll wait probably about another 30 minutes and undo the lid. And I'll open it away from me. And then we'll wait about another 30 minutes and take the jars out. Okay, I gently moved it over here. And the pressure is already starting to go down. So, pressure rated to 0. This right here, a drop. Then we're going to wait. I'll take this off and then we'll wait 30 minutes. gonna let them cool down slowly. So, I've got to run an errand. I'm gonna leave it like this for a little bit, and we'll be back.